Welcome to My Hometown, the program that explores clubs, organizations, businesses, and issues across Nassau and Suffolk counties and sheds light on the different towns that are making a difference.
A great day to you and welcome to another edition of My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan, along with Nassau Community College student Zach Turkel. Our special guests today are Matthew Neebe, the Director of Town of Smithtown Horizons Counseling and Education Center, and Stacey Sanders, the Executive Director for the Town of Smithtown Youth Bureau. Stacey has spent nearly the last 30 years in the provision of human services in local municipal government, with 21 of those years in the field of youth development, prevention, and intervention services. Her various roles have been in the administration of grants and town contract agencies, supervision and implementation of town-wide programming, and in the management of volunteer community initiatives. She holds a degree in psychology from the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. For our listeners who are not really sure what a municipal youth bureau is, you're going to tell us.
Well, nearly every municipality statewide has its own youth bureau. We don't all stand alone, though. We are actually all connected to a much larger New York State Youth Bureau system. Most people don't realize youth bureaus have been around for a very long time and are very firmly connected to their communities. Actually, municipal youth bureaus started popping up in the late 60s and 70s, kind of a grassroots hippie movement, a community standing together and taking hands, taking care of one another, the whole it takes a village to raise a child kind of sentiment. And youth bureaus have changed and grown immensely over the decades, becoming more professional, incorporating quality regulations for services, formal qualifications for staff, and using research-based programs and practices. It's much different than the original kind of casual hippie youth bureaus that some people might remember.
Now, when you say a youth bureau, now I'm talking to you. So to me, someone who's young is under 60. Now, what is a youth in your description?
A youth is anyone under the age of 21.
Under 21. Okay, I was going to kid and say
that age.
Yes. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I fit it.
Terrific. You
Perfect.
can come to the youth bureau.
Can you really help that?
He can volunteer.
He needs
for
a lot
sure.
of help. He might have to pay extra.
Okay.
I might need a little bit of help, yeah.
Zach?
So Stacey, the town of Smithtown government started and supports your youth bureau, is that correct?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Wow.
Actually, the town of Smithtown was one of the very first youth bureaus on Long Island. The town of Smithtown established their own youth bureau in 1980. Currently, the supervisor and the town council are really fully supportive of what the youth bureau does. They're very concerned about the issues that are facing families in the township, and not only are they fully supportive as far as allocation of resources, but they're very involved personally. They stay aware of what we do, and they work with us and encourage us to partner with other town departments involving youth and families in town projects.
That sounds really worthwhile because it sounds so sensible, but I imagine some groups don't partner together or let the other one know what's going on.
Sure,
and,
definitely.
You lose a lot of strength and power with that.
That's what happens, yeah.
Now, fill us in. What kinds of programs and services does the Youth Bureau provide?
Well, youth bureaus throughout the state, they vary very greatly because communities are so different everywhere you go throughout the state. Youth bureaus are basically funded to promote the physical and emotional well-being of local youth and families. So that means various development, enrichment, and delinquency prevention programs, basically dealing with mental health and wellness and providing various skill building and developing individual strengths and resiliency, and of course dealing with gang violence, substance abuse, teen pregnancy, bullying, and other community and family problems. Every community is so different, and each one has its own unique individual strengths and needs.
Is this mainly for someone, as you say, gang violence, maybe drugs with a problem? Or I think you also mentioned developing some skills. So is this someone to get more advanced in the workforce?
Well, there is intervention for people that are already, experiencing difficulties or going down the wrong path. But a lot of what we do is for mainstream in the community for any child, any family, to prevent the child from going down the wrong path.
Okay, so that's you're going to prevent them before they get there, which
Yes.
is what we need.
Right.
Correct. This makes a lot more sense.
It does, and it saves you a lot of work and everybody a lot of
Yes.
time, trouble, and anguish, I guess.
Indeed.
Right, Stacey, how does the Town of Smithtown Youth Bureau meet the unique needs of their town residents? Does it really fit the demographics, the town community? Does it really fit their needs? How does it do that?
Well, firstly, it's vital for us to learn and to stay informed about exactly what those unique needs are and if they're changing or evolving. So we do continual needs assessment surveying throughout the township. This way we gain feedback from school personnel, social and civic groups, parents and students, really as many residents as possible. And we use Suffolk County data as well as our own survey results to actually plan our programs.
Now, Stacey, I'm hearing that, and I think that's great. So you continually look for what are the needs of the youth.
Definitely.
It's not just a textbook that you have there with the table of contents. Your table of contents changes.
We survey the community ongoing, constantly.
Part of the show, we always like to take people behind the curtain. What's going on in the business? So in your agency, can you tell us some of the more recent needs that may have come out? Now, we see in the paper,
Sure.
gang violence and drugs.
Right.
But you're focusing you're like the microscope, getting in there and trying
Correct.
to prevent it from the earliest stages. So can you take us through a recent problem, perhaps?
Well, our surveying data recently would be looking at Town of Smithtown residents, both young and old, and the results are very similar about what people care about, what people see in their communities, and that includes bullying, cyberbullying, which is very big.
Yeah.
Student stress and depression, the use and abuse of substances, family conflict, lack of family and community connectedness, family and interpersonal conflict, and also child and teen obesity. Also, residents feel very strongly that they want certain things from us, that they want certain supports, and a lot of our residents feel that they want support for academic achievement for their young people, such as study skills, time management, and organizational skills, because those things aren't necessarily taught in school.
Yeah, I really need that, Stacey. I'm really bad at all three of those things.
And I know most adults pretty much need that as well.
Yeah.
And also, they really, really want opportunities for student leadership and for community service. So it's a pretty tall order of programs and services that our residents feel they need.
That really is.
Really.
I'm very impressed because I was expecting kind of a very general, generic answer to that.
They know the problems in their communities and what they want us to do, so we listen.
You were really like the hospital. I mean, at certain seasons, it's the flu, it's the virus, it might be...
This is true, yes,
in
at
the
certain
summer,
times, yeah.
mosquito and, what is it,
like with
jellyfish bites?
prom season, a whole new set of problems, that kind of thing. Now, the summer, a lot of free time on their hands. So
I don't think any. I mean, I will tell you already. I've learned a lot about this because you don't realize how someone in your position, it's just not go out and interview someone or talk to them. Those problems change,
Yes.
and society changes,
Exactly.
and our problems, and
right, something will happen in one of the schools, be a bullying incident, and we're calling to help.
But you got to realize that something 20 years ago, and Bill, you would know this more than I am, because I'm not 20 years old.
Okay, rub in that age.
Right?
Go ahead.
No, Bill.
Get me.
The thing is that cyberbullying was pretty much non-existent,
Exactly.
and now it's becoming a huge thing. And now with the opioid crisis too, I mean, it's becoming a huge thing now.
Exactly. Bullying is totally different than it used to be.
Right.
It used to end when the young person would go home, and now it's 24/7.
Yeah, it's very sad.
You and your staff must have to be on almost like continual. We call it, I guess, continuing adult education. Obviously, they're all adults, but continuing education because of the new problems and having experts.
Yes, we have to stay informed too.
Yeah, very definitely.
About the intricacies of what these kids are going through.
But it's good you're working closely with the schools, the teachers, the people near them, because obviously they can tell you and kind of bring you down.
Right, we partner with all the schools.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Stacey, where and when do Youth Bureau staff members provide these programs? You mentioned schools, but where else?
Well, that depends on the type of the program or service. Things like parenting skills workshops and student and community leadership meetings. We hold those at our offices at the Horizons Center in Smithtown, pretty much after school and evenings. Family fun programs, family communication programs, and community service initiatives. Those are pretty much, we do them in town parks throughout the township and at libraries, after school evenings, and occasionally on weekends. And the research-based substance abuse prevention and coping skills and emotional management, those types of things, which we run in collaboration with Horizons Counseling and Education Center, those kind of specialized programs, excuse me, are actually provided in all of our 4 township school districts during the school and after school.
Now, I'm going to ask this question really for Zach, because I know he's a little embarrassed.
Okay.
Are refreshments provided? Perhaps a few cheeseburgers, popcorn, candy,
we
Cracker
do. We do provide
Those are the kind of events he likes to go to.
Yeah.
Me too,
But also the fun day. I hear the word fun, and I think...
Fun day.
Yeah,
we
fun.
try to have fun. Yeah, we try to keep it light. And yes, we do provide food, because you put out food, people will come.
That's so true.
You notice that, huh? I can tell you one person right here.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, you know, I'm one of those people.
Right.
There you go.
So I notice there's no food here.
Now, see...
Well, you got to complain to Jim about that. Jim, where's the food?
Where's our budget? That's our producer, Jim.
That's all right.
Now, Stacey, if someone is hearing this, I'd like them to know, can you give us some contact information if they say, this sounds good, or I'd like to get my child involved in it, or maybe the adult should be involved to filter down to the child, some contact information?
All they have to do is go to Town of Smithtown website, and there's information. There's the Horizons page and Youth Bureau page, and it gives all of the information about all the programs and who to contact.
And when you say the Horizons, Matt is going to be talking about that in the second portion of the show. This is about the Youth Bureau, so they'll get the full span,
but we're both
I guess, upcoming
Town of
events.
Smithtown, and we share, space on the
And the most important thing is there are refreshments at these events.
Yes, there is.
We'll be covered for that. Can you tell us about a recent program, maybe something new that's starting or you're thinking of developing in the future?
Recent programs that we've done, we provided a 7th annual Global Youth Service Day event, which is a big youth community service initiative. We had over 100 students and parents volunteering at Hoyt Farm, which is a Town of Smithtown Park, and the kids, they loved it. They came with family, and they were doing cleanup and preparation of butterfly and bee pollinated gardens. So it kind of helped the park as well as helping the kids. We did a family communication skills workshop. This is actually the second time we've run the program. It's very popular with kids and parents. This is actually a Town of Smithtown Youth and Community Alliance initiative, which we do in conjunction with Horizons. We had about 50 kids learning how to effectively communicate, and they had a lot of fun. They did a lot of role-playing, laughing, but they were communicating. We have a parenting skills group, which is free, 7-week course. And we have a very large volunteer corps program. We have about 350 students and parents that are registered in our volunteer corps program. And we've recently tried to expand that and find other opportunities for them. So we've invited local social and civic groups and community organizations to partner with us, and we can help them find volunteers for their initiatives.
That's really great. So you have 350, and I'm guessing by the fact that you have 350, if someone out there hears this and says, gee, I'm a teacher, I would be good with the youth, or I'd like to do that, or see if I'm fitted for it, they could contact you and see if there's an opening.
Definitely, yep.
All right, see, we're recruiting for you, so we deserve some of those refreshments. We're going to earn our refreshments.
There's no food, but you did help with that.
There we go.
That's right.
Okay.
Stacey, what kind of programs is the Youth Bureau providing this summer? So you mentioned the past stuff. What's going to happen in the future?
We have an upcoming Summer Bash event, which is actually our annual family pizza and pool night, and we have about 275 registrants.
That's a full schedule if you're doing it.
Yes.
Now, pool night, can outsiders such as 2 radio hosts come?
Well, you could,
we don't look. One of us doesn't look good in a bathing suit. Zach might be okay.
If you brought some food, maybe.
If we brought some food, well, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll share that with you.
But it's a lot of fun, and that's held at the beautiful Town of Smithtown Landing Pool. We're also doing multiple high school and middle school study skills programs. So it helps kids keep their academic skills sharp and teaches them new ones over the summer. And we're also doing summer programs in collaboration with the Horizons, an emotional management and social skills program called Understanding Feelings and Friendships. and some resiliency building. It's through the Too Good for Drugs program, and we're doing that at the Town of Smithtown Recreation Playground programs. We have student empowerment, education programs.
Sounds like you're going 24/7.
Yeah.
We are going 24/7. And one last thing, we are having an open house and community training. Excuse me, through our Town of Smithtown Youth and Community Alliance, and it's to get people to know what we're doing in the Alliance, what kind of initiatives we have, and they are welcome to participate in a free personal and professional development